What's up, travellers? Welcome back to the channel. SJ Aviation HQ here. Welcome back to the channel today. Today, hit the model review of the China Southern Airlines Airbus A330-300 released by NG Models. Before anything though, go ahead and leave a thumbs up below. Great indication of how much you enjoy today's video and of course the content here on this channel. Want to come along to tune into more content like this, including the likes of the more model reviews coming up on the channel, airport updates and the likes of the unboxings as well. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel below. While you're there, ding the bell icon to come along to tune into the videos as soon as they go live onto the channel. Of course, to receive the notifications as soon as they go live, of course. Before anything though, of course, this model here was released in the Ultimate Collection by NG Models in their April 2024 release, and of course was among the 12 model aircraft, or I think more than that, 16 model aircraft or something like that, or I think it was 18 models in the mega unboxing that I uploaded a couple of months ago, earlier in the year at least. Go ahead and check it out, top right corner in the top right about now to go ahead and review that video. It'll be a different type of showcasing of the boxes. Of course, it's a different style of box, but we'll do that later on in the piece. So first of all, I'm going to read out some information regarding China Southern as an airline. And there's some information about the aircraft as well. So founded on July the 1st of 1988, China Southern Airlines is a major airline within China, headquartered in Guangzhou and is based at Guangzhou Baoyuan International Airport, also having a hub at Beijing's Daxing International Airport, to which they operate to more than 200 destinations daily. According to planespotters.net, China Southern Airlines operates a fleet consisting of 687 aircraft, including 25 Airbus A330-300 aircraft, which have an average fleet age of some 9.4 years. But between February 25th, 2005 and February the 21st of 2025, China Southern Airlines operated a fleet of 16 Airbus A330-200s. China Southern Airlines was joined the SkyTeam Alliance on November the 15th of 2007, but then exited the airline alliance on December the 31st of 2018. So going into some information about this airframe now. This airframe's MSN number is 1894. This aircraft is a 7-year-old Airbus A330-300, particularly a 343, because at the time 43 was the designated code for Airbus built aircraft, of course the A330 program and of course the 340 program as well. Of course they were equipped with Rolls-Royce engines. This aircraft performed its first flight on September the 13th of 2018, wearing the registration of Foxtrot Whiskey Charlie Victor, and also wore the test registration of Bravo-005 Golf, of course being tested in China, of course. This aircraft here was built and produced in Toulouse, France, and is currently active on the network for China Southern Airlines, wearing the registration of Bravo-300 uniform. This aircraft was delivered to China Southern Airlines on December the 19th of 2018. Currently is equipped with 2 Rolls-Royce Trent 772 Charlie-60 engines, and was ferried between Tianjin and Beijing Peking International Airport on December the 19th of 2018 on its delivery flight within China, of course. And of course, just a fun fact, this aircraft here was not taken up airframe that was originally destined for Sichuan Airlines. So very nice indeed. If you did miss out on the review I did of the Sichuan Airbus A330-900 in the Panda livery, check it out, top right corner right about now. But with that information out of the way, let's go ahead and showcase this very unique looking box. At the top of the box, first and foremost, we have the Airbus A330-300 text there in the Airbus font, very nice. In the middle of the box, we have the fancy looking China Southern logo there. Haven't really seen that detail before on the China Southern details before. Here we have the China Southern Airlines 2D rendering of the aircraft just here. Very nice indeed. The reason why I went ahead and got this one is because, of course, Ultimate Collection Haven't had one in my collection other than the Air India 350-900, which I guess I don't know if I've included in a model review, but that will be coming up very soon as well. At the bottom of the corner, we have the China Southern logo just here, and here we have registration Bravo-300 uniform. But of course, if you aren't too familiar with the phonetic alphabet, that would be pronounced as B-300U. Apologies if you can hear the traffic in the background. Rush hour has just begun, but do bear in mind about that. Here we have, also in this corner, we have where it states this is a wonderful to scale die-cast aircraft. On the bottom panel here, we have the China Southern logo here, and of course we say is to open. We'll do that in a moment. But on this side, we can see the 330-300 text there, aircraft in the middle here, with the registration below that. And then here we have the barcode just there. On the top of the box, we have the China Southern logo just here. On this panel, it's identical to the opposite side that I just showed you with the aircraft text here. The aircraft itself reading the registration. On the back of the box, however, we have this nice line details here with the China Southern logo just here. Very cool, and a nice banner showing the airline colors just there. And on the bottom we have the barcode with the item number 62065, and again very comical, the misspelling of the word warning on their boxes. You would think they would proofread before they put it on a box that is going to be produced worldwide, but never mind. And then we have where it's located, or made in, of course, China. NG models based in China, of course. Now, what's in the box? You may be wondering. Of course, we have the open tab here. What you just do is you just literally open it up like that, and in the box we have where the model would be located. Of course, it's not located in the box for this portion of the video. But here we have what is the cradle, of course. But of course, what you just saw is this booklet here. This has some pretty nice details as well. Just put that back in the background there. What you can see here is what you saw on the background of the box on the back of it, with the China Southern logo here and those colors there. Inside, in the Chinese text here, is some details about the 330 aircraft, but here is where it is in English. Very nice indeed. Very cool. And then here we have the China Southern logo here, but on the back of those panels are some details relating to the dimensions of the 330-300 in general. This is the top view here. And then we have the side view, of course, all of the measurements in the metric unit, of course, and of course the imperial measurement as well. So very cool, very nice indeed. I don't know if I would have gone ahead and purchased this outright. I just wanted to get it because it was part of the exchange event. Of course, I did have to pay shipping, of course, but of course it was nice to have somewhat of a collections piece in terms of the Ultimate Collection. Don't know if it's worth the extra money for a fancier box and that little card that was in there. That's really different, and of course a different style of box as well. Don't know if don't know if it's worth the extra money for it, but it was nice to get it from the exchange mall anyway. But anyway, that is this portion of the video done for you guys. The reading out of the airline, the aircraft, and the showcasing of this box. Let's go ahead and check out the model. And here is the absolutely stunning China Southern Airlines Airbus A330-300 wearing this absolutely stunning livery. This model here, of course, released in the April 2024 release, of course, a part of the Ultimate Collection. So in this portion of the video, I'm going to be showcasing the model up close to the camera for you guys, to give you a nice up close shot of all the details on this aircraft. So let's go ahead and dive straight into the review of the model. First and foremost, of course, zooming into the aircraft for you guys, and then picking up the model. As you can see, a very, very stunning looking model. just like I showed you guys in that mega unboxing. If I did show you a card earlier on in the video of that video, there'll be a link leading you in the description if where you need to go for easier access, of course. Now in the front of the aircraft, we can see the nose cone right in the middle of the shot there. Now underneath that is a component called the weather radar. That of course is used to detect the storms along the flight plan that the flight is on. Of course, gives the pilot a visual indication about the weather ahead of them, whether it is the intensity of the rainfall ahead of them or the possibility of turbulence as well. This enables them to navigate around any of the potential hazardous areas along the flight plan if they need to, of course. Very cool indeed. Here we have the nicely looking cockpit windows here. Very nice. I do quite like the 330 mold by NG models. I do like the 330 Neo mold more, I would have to say. Probably because I'm more of a fan of the Neo over the CO variants, but the CO variants are pretty good as well. In the middle of the shot, just there, you can make out the pitot tubes. Now the pitot tubes are used there to measure fluid flow velocity during a flight. Very cool. Now one thing that is missing from this model, of course, not just this model but the entire fleet now of China Southern, is of course the SkyTeam logo, as of course they have now left the alliance, as I mentioned earlier on in the video. Here we have the L1 boarding door, or Lima 1 boarding door. Of course Lima is, or the L is representing the word left, as of course this is the left hand side. Later on in the video when I show you the other side, you'll see in the opposite side of the aircraft was the right hand side. So very cool. Here we have bottom of the model. We can see the nose wheel. As you can see, it does roll freely on the axis there with 00 uniform on the gear door there. Of course, Bravo-300 uniform is the registration of this model, so this is of course the last 3 digits of that registration. Right in the middle of the shot there, you can make out the AOA sensor, otherwise known as the angle of attack sensor. It is used to offer a visual indication of the amount of lift the wings are generating at a given airspeed or angle of bank. Very nice. Here on the top of the aircraft here, we can make out the first of the antenna on top of the aircraft there. It's a little bit of a dome here, SATCOM there. Very cool. Here we have Cantonese. I believe this is for, I'm not too sure what that says. It might just say China Southern, perhaps, or I will put what this says in the at the bottom of the screen now for you guys. Here we have the nicely looking cabin windows here of the 330 there. Very nice. At the bottom here, we can make out, if I'm able to give it a wee focus for you guys. There we go. That is of course the pedostatic system that is used to determine an aircraft's airspeed, Mach number, altitude and altitude trend, or of course the vertical speed, and of course the climb rate or descent rate of the aircraft. Very cool. Here is the Lima 2 door, the second of the 2 main cabin doors on this aircraft. Of course it's for boarding. Here is the other one, you saw it before, the Lima 1 door. Here we have the China Southern titles here, looking fabulous as ever. Nice looking classic livery on this 330. Would have been quite interesting if China Southern had put this livery on the 787 fleet. But of course they do have that bird-like livery on all of the 787s, so that's very cool. Here we have the landing light that of course is on the, mounted onto the wing, used in the event of flight within 0 and 10,000 feet, often seen on an active runway or landing into an active runway. Very nice. Just here in the shot, I believe it is either the forward one here or the backward one there, that of course I'm alluding to the wing light that is used to as the name suggests, to light up the wing during either low light conditions or night operations. Very cool. Here we have this size Rolls-Royce, I believe is the Trent 700 engine. I might be wrong in saying that, but anyway, if I am, I'll put the the correct specs of this engine or model of the engine on the bottom of the screen now for you guys. But here is a nice look into the interior. Looking at the fan blades there, looking wonderful as ever. And here, of course, is the side profile of the nacelle here, with of course the reverse thrusters that the clamshell style reverse thrusters there on the side there, very cool. And of course the side profile look of the pylon there. Surprised that they haven't put a vortex generator on, but perhaps this style of engine doesn't have the vortex generator there. But anyway, here we have the up close look of the leading edge here on the wing. Very nice. And then we get to the edge of the wing, where of course is located the of course we have here the red navigation light, very prominently seen when the aircraft systems are on. Here should also be the strobe lights, the white strobe lights that flash twice in sequence on an Airbus. And of course, whether this aircraft was a Boeing, whether it's 787, 737 MAX series, 777, etc. And of course, there's a little flash once in sequence. Very cool. Here is the exterior of the winglet here. There's not a sharklet. The sharklet was introduced on the 320neo family, I believe, and also now seen on the 350 family. This of course is a winglet here. Very cool with the I think it is a Campock flower. I think it is on the outside of the winglet here. Interior just looks like this, if I'm able to get it to focus for you guys. There you go. And then we have a look at the nicely looking trailing edge details of the trailing edge here. Of course, the flaps, the spoilers, and of course the aileron that should be in the middle there. Very cool. Of course, the slats are at the front of the wing. Very nice. And let's have a wee sneaky look at the landing gear here. A bit of a tongue twister there, but oh well. And then here, of course, they do not tilt on the strip of the bogie there, but they do roll freely, as you can see. Here is the other one looking rather nice. Very good. We have a look at the belly when we get to that. Here we have an emergency exit door, otherwise known as the Lima 3 door. Very cool. Here are some antennas here, one on the bottom, another one on the top. And to the next we have here the SATCOM, the Wi-Fi dome. This is what provides the IFE on board the aircraft, IFE standing for in-flight entertainment. Of course, seen on the screens behind each of the seats. Very cool. Yeah, another one of those antenna there. Here is the sticker here, or the decaling, where it shows that this is an Airbus A330-300. And then we get to the registration, Bravo-300 uniform, or B-300 EU, if you aren't familiar with the phonetic alphabet. Here is the Lima 4 door. Another one, it can be used as a boarding door. Of course, disembarking or embarking via the air stairs on the airport's apron there, via the buses, of course. And then we get to the tail fin, nicely detailed tail fin showing the rudder at the trailing edge of the tail fin, and of course the leading edge there. And we have the Campock flower, I believe it is, emblem here, looking rather nice indeed. Quite cool to have this A330 model, in my opinion. Very nice. Let's have a look at the elevators here, nicely detailed. Very nicely detailed. I'm surprised they haven't put the logo lights on them. You would think that they would be there, but of course the logo lights are a component on the aircraft at the tailplane of the aircraft, of course, to light up the tail during low light conditions, and of course in night operations as well. Of course, an identification type device to anyone who's on the ground crew around the aircraft, other pilots within other aircraft around them, And of course, people who are in the control tower to know who the airline is, of course it will be China Southern. Can be used as a marketing tool for anyone who is in the vicinity of the terminal, of course. And of course around the perimeter, whether it is the general public or av geeks in terms of plane spotters. Very cool. And here we have at the very rear of the aircraft the APU exhaust. APU, of course, is the auxiliary power unit. Another one of these turbines within the tailplane of the aircraft that is used to provide assistance in terms of power to the systems on board the aircraft when, of course, the engines are off. Can also be used to turn the engines on without any trouble at all. Very cool. And to the next to this should, of course, also be the inlet. Of course, it isn't there at the moment, but oh well. Very cool. Let's have a look at the top side of the wing, which it has the registration here. Bravo -300 uniform. On the other side, you saw just a moment ago. I believe this is Cantonese. Very nice. Nicely detailed. Let's have a look at the opposite side of the aircraft momentarily. That is, of course, as I mentioned before, the only minor differences, as of course the doors are the R doors. Of course, R is representing the word right, as of course is the right hand side. So we have the R1, R2, R3 further down, and then we have the R4 just here. Only other minor differences is that we have a baggage compartment just here, a rear baggage compartment just here, and then this side's navigation light is of course green. Otherwise, the only other difference really is that this is the number 2 engine of the Rolls-Royce variety. Very cool. Let's have a sneaky look momentarily at the bottom of the aircraft, otherwise known as the belly. Very cool. Here we have the nose gear door. That, of course, is where the nose gear would be, of course, after the aircraft gears have been retracted, of course, or of course before they have been extended. Very nice. Moving down the aircraft, we have some nice details here. The air vents just there on either side of the beacon light there. Not too sure if I noticed if there was a beacon light on the top. We'll have a look at that in a moment. Here we have the stand hole for anyone who puts their 400 scale aircraft on a stand. I personally don't, as I don't see the need to. Here we have the gear doors, the landing gear doors. Of course, this is of course the accommodation for the landing gear. Very cool. Underside of the engine here looking rather nice indeed, and of course all the nice details on the bottom of the wing. There's of course the upside down winglet there, and of course the underside as well. Nice look into the exhaust of the engine there, and the underside of the pylon, looking rather fancy indeed if I say so myself. Registration again, Bravo -300 uniform, looking rather fantastic. And of course we go down further, another one of those cargo compartments just there to the left of the rear baggage compartment there. And then we get to the entryway to the APU. The entryway, of course, to anyone who's on the ground engineers to, of course, access the APU. Very cool. Let's have a wee look and see if there's a beacon light. There is indeed, just there. And that, ladies and gentlemen, will do it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed what you came along and viewed today, within this model review of the China Southern Airlines A330-300. This, of course, was in the Ultimate Collection, ultimate release of this model. But I mean, no different to the one that was in the regular box. Only real differences, as you saw earlier on in the video, was of course that booklet that came with it, and of course the other knickknacks that came along with it as well. But do I really think it's necessary for just a little bit more of a price? Not really, in my opinion. But of course, this model was of course in the exchange small, the December 2024 exchange small. So I thought had the points, may as well go ahead and try and see what they're all about in terms of the Ultimate Collection. But of course, very cool. If you did enjoy what you saw in today's video, go ahead and leave a thumbs up below. Be a great indication of how much you enjoyed today's video and of course the content here on this channel. Comment below what you enjoyed. Do you like this model? Do you like what you see on this channel? And do you have any feedback that you can give me in terms of what I can improve on when it comes to other content in general, or in my model reviews as well? Go ahead and drop your thoughts in the comment section below. If you want to come along and view more content like this, the other array of model reviews I have coming up, and of course content in general, go ahead and subscribe to the channel below. While you're there, ding the bell icon to come along and view content like this as soon as those videos go live on the channel. Of course, to get the notifications as soon as they go live, of course. And of course, yeah, it would be great to see your support moving along in the journey of this this channel. If you want to come along and support my whereabouts on social media, go ahead and scan the QR code you can see on the screen now. That will lead you straight to my Instagram page for SJ International Airport, which of course you can see in the background. That of course is where you can view all the content, like the photographs of my model collection, the ins and outs of the news in terms of what's happening at my airport, or the updates in terms of what's coming on social media. Go ahead and check that out if you wish to, or you can scan the QR code you can see on the screen now. That will lead you straight to my catalogue for all of my social links in one full place, of course, for easier access to all of them. Of course, if you don't have the means to scan any of those QR codes, there are links in the description below for easier access as well to lead you to where you need to go. So that would do it for the video, guys. Thank you very much for coming along and tuning in today's video. Of course, the model review of this Southern Airlines 330-300 by NG models. If you did enjoy what you saw, there's options in the end screen coming up very soon for you guys. On the left hand side will be my most recent video here on the channel. On the right side will be the full playlist of model reviews seen on this channel. In the middle will be where you can subscribe. But until next time, guys, fly safe, stay safe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.